and understand your property to find a solar solution that works for you. One of the biggest advantages of going solar is the opportunity to take advantage of the many solar incentives available. But it can often be confusing to know what you're qualified for. All Energy Solar professionals will help you find out what savings you can apply for and even help with your applications. This is especially important since many rebate programs have limited capacity and are first come, first serve. So it's important to have a professional on your side who will make sure you get every eligible rebate. Get a free no obligation assessment from All Energy Solar's commercial solar specialists by calling 800-620-3370 or visit allenergysolar.com.
Turn to Auto Technical with your vehicle donation. Even though Auto Technical is a small nonprofit, we have helped more families with transportation than any organization in Minnesota. Since '94, we have reconditioned donated vehicles so they have a higher tax benefit. Call Richard at 612-919-5526, 612-919-5526, or autotech.org.
It's an absolute must for any true foodie. Vinaigrette at 50th and Xerxes in South Minneapolis offers premium oils and vinegars for the most discriminating of tastes. This is Sarah Piepenberg, owner of Vinaigrette. We bottle on-site, there's no guesswork, and you get to taste test each and every oil and vinegar we offer. Our direct relationship with the growers ensures an uncompromised level of satisfaction. When you need to know you're cooking with the finest ingredients, first contact the independently owned Vinaigrette, 50th and Xerxes in South Minneapolis. Online at vinaigrettemn.com.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Showers and thunderstorms possible very late tonight with a low of 71. Clearing skies on Wednesday, very hot sunshine with a high of 95. Grab a tray at Cafe Latte and pick from their award-winning selections of soups, salads, sandwiches, and desserts. Cafe Latte is at Victoria Street and Grand Avenue in St. Paul or at cafelatte.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, hit me cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake. Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Kadagi to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and we're live here at Target Field, and I want to get going right away with our special guest because he's spending some extra time with us just before he has to get going on air. We're with Twins Hall of Famer, World Series winner, 87 and 91, Dan Gladden. Welcome to Native Roots Radio.
Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. We've been kind of missing each other for a little while, but here we are.
Yes, thank you so much for stopping in. I know this is a busy time of the day for you, just be doing prep before the show, but what about the Twins since the All-Star break? I'm just totally happy.
Well, 9-2 right now. They got the best record since the All-Star break, but yeah, it's a busy time, but it sure is a fun time right now. I think that, watching these guys out here take batting practice, Seattle's in town, a contending team. I just think that the way they've been playing very competitive teams, very competitive baseball. And I tell you what, the fans are really enjoying it. Had some late inning wins the last couple of nights. So looking for more of that here tonight.
Well, it's Native American Heritage Night, and that's why we're out here. And we have former Native Americans that have played Major League Baseball. Of course, White Earth's Chief Bender, Hall of Famer. Kyle Loesch was a Native American that played for the Twins. And we're just excited out here to celebrate this. Again, the Twins, I've been out here for the last few games, and they're the cardiac kids here lately.
Well, they're fun to watch. And like you said, they make it exciting, especially last night, kind of back and forth there a little bit. But again, Carlos Correa came through there at the end. But it was collectively, it was a team. Twins win. Rocco got to use the whole lineup. And anytime you use the whole team, everybody feels kind of part of the club, and they feel that they kind of contributed a little bit. And I think that that's what makes this team here so special this year.
They are, and you've been on two World Series teams. I mean, hitting will win you games and pitching will win you World Series,
Yeah.
and their pitching is pretty good this year.
Well, it is. I think that health-wise also has been kind of key. You know what's nice, they'll be able to, if you got the starters that they have, we lead, I think, the league in innings pitched, also strikeouts. So I think that with that being said, we're getting length in our starters, and that's going to complement your bullpen. And we got a nice group of guys out there in the bullpen. Probably the first 2 months of the season, the offense was lacking. And I think that that's kind of where we floundered about 500. But now that the offense is kicking in and the pitching is good, I think you're seeing some separation right now with the Cleveland Guardians.
Well, was it a part of the what the manager had to say before the All-Star break, or was it a part of the changing the batting order, or was it part of Kepler hitting, or is it a combination of everything?
I think it was a combination of everything, Robert. I think that, when you go into the All-Star break like that and you have 4 days off and you scatter, and a lot of players, go back to their native countries and, visit family and then get on a flight and come back, no baseball activity. And then there's some guys that, do stay active. Once you get back together, which we got back together out on the West Coast against the last place Oakland A's, I think really helped us and benefited our team a little bit. You never know what's going to happen when you return from the All-Star break like that. So I'm just glad that these guys are where they're at right now and how well they're playing.
Well, you've been on championship teams, and of course you have your stars and you have your role players, and it seems like the Twins manager really works his role players in a really good way. I see a lot of switching and moving, and people going to third, and Kirilloff going to right and back to first, and
Robert, and it goes to show you that even if I'm not in that lineup initially, I think the way Rocco is using the team here, I got a chance to come in the ballgame a little bit later. I'm going to be prepared, so when that opportunity arises, I'm already ready to go for that certain situation. Got some veteran guys. Filtered in some younger players right now in Wolner, and I consider Lernick still young. We've had some injuries to Royce Lewis, who got an opportunity to really kind of take off. Jose Miranda kind of stumbled a little bit. But you look at our club, I think they're veteran players out there filtered in with some younger guys right now, and that makes for a championship team.
Well, and Kirilloff, I'm reading here that was a player of the week, and that's amazing. And I think you talk about this a lot when he's up to bat, that he waits long enough where he has power and as a right-handed or left-handed batter to left field.
Yeah, I think that goes to show you the discipline he has and letting that ball get in a little bit. But also it's his stride and his swing plane allows him to drag that bat through the zone there a little bit. And to be able to have opposite power like that, that's something that you have it. I think some guys can learn it. But I think that with him, that's his swing right there, and I would leave him alone and let him continue to do that.
Kind of reminds me of a younger Ken Herbeck in a lot of ways, don't you think?
Yeah, and you know what? Yeah, also I think that Jim Thome, a younger player, Jim Thome, he hit a lot of balls, couldn't pull the ball. He hit a lot of balls foul, and got him to open up his stance, and then his power came to left center field. It wasn't so much pull power. And I think that's what Kirilloff also. He hit a ball the other night in right center field that was really hit well. But at the same time, I think that's about as far as he's going to go in pulling the ball down the right field line.
Well, I know you got to get going here soon. And I just want to say, Peeny Gigi, thank you for being on. And I just, before we let you go, I remember, I'm, an old person now. I remember in '87 when we got you from the Giants and you were the igniter that we needed. We didn't have a leadoff batter. And you were tough as nails, and it kind of brought to the Twins some toughness that they were lacking. And I just remember that it was great. We had Mickey Hatcher, and we released Mickey and got you.
That was tough because I remember when I came over here that when you trade and release somebody, you're losing a guy that's been a teammate, and Mickey Hatcher had been a teammate, a good friend, a fan favorite. Mm-hmm. So to come in here and try to have to fill in his shoes, and I felt I'm going to be my own person and just play my style of baseball. And I grew up watching Pete Rose, which was hard for 9 innings of just grinding it out there. And when I came over here, that was the style that I had. And I think it resonated with the rest of the guys.
You don't have to answer this, but I was at the Hall of Fame, and my wife and I, Wendy, saw you at the airport. But I got Pete Rose's autograph, and I feel like they're going to let Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame after he passes away,
Yeah.
kind of like what they did with Leo DeRocher.
Yeah, shameful. And, I'm kind of mixed here because as a kid growing up, going to Candlestick Park, watching him play, liked his style.
Yeah.
What he did was wrong. When you walk into any clubhouse, there's a sign, poster that says, if you bet on any baseball, you're going to be banned for life. So that was there. The fact that he did it, he's paid his price. He did it. He's still paying the consequences for it. But at the same time, there's other people that have been elected into the Hall of Fame that have probably a worse background or maybe has committed something as bad, if not maybe worse, and they are in there. So he's the leader in hits. Nobody's going to beat him. He's going to have that record forever.
And he is in the Hall of Fame, but not his plaque. So, Dan, we only got like a minute and a half here, and I really appreciate you being on. One of the things I wanted to ask you, because you started as a San Francisco Giant, Willie Mays, greatest player ever or not?
Well, Willie Mays, as a young outfielder with the Giants, we'd go to spring training, and of course, just like Minnesota, Rod Carew, Harmon Killebrew come into camp. Willie Mays came into camp and worked with the outfielders, and he sat right next to me. I got to just, you get mesmerized when you hear stories of Willie Mays and the things that he accomplished. I went and watched him play at Candlestick Park. You see all the records and all the things that he has done. And the thing that chews at me a little bit is that I'm supposed to have the San Francisco Giants rookie stolen base record.
Yeah.
But they give it to Willie Mays, but he did it with the New York
Giants.
Yeah. So I think that's a little flawed.
Yeah, especially after them being there for so long. I feel like they shouldn't be talking about the Washington Senators records with the Twins too.
Similar. But, I just, to be able to, sit there in a room with Willie Mays and be able to go out there, I played center field and, he was a showman back then. People get a little upset the way some of these guys play today and all the charisma that they, all the catches that they made. Well, Willie Mays was doing it a long time ago.
That's right. And he could back it up. He never dropped it.
That's right.
Dan, thank you so much for
My
stopping
pleasure.
in Native Roots Radio. Hopefully we'll see you again, but this is a great night, great celebration here, and a great time to come out to Target Field. A lot of seats left, and we got the Native American Heritage Month, and the Twins are on a roll.
Yes, they are. I'll tell you what, let's make a deal here. Come playoff time, you get back out here. We'll do this again.
Right on.
All righty.
Thanks a lot, Dan.
Thank you.
You're listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and we'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us. Ho!
We are your relatives,
We are your relations,
brothers,
sisters,
sons.
daughters,
And some of us are your grandchildren.
We are your community. Historically, we held places of honor and respect. Because of the impact of colonization, some of us are rejected, thrown out from family, friends, and community, set up as targets for sexual violence, sex trafficked, humiliated, tortured, and murdered. Everybody has the right to be safe. We are your relatives. Remember,
Homophobia is not traditional.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Hey, Olgama, I've been hearing a lot about this term, climate justice. What is that?
Climate justice is recognizing that the negative impacts of climate change don't affect all people equally. It also means transitioning from a fossil fuel-based economy to a more sustainable future. MN350 is one of the groups that's pushing for this transition to protect our futures. You can even get involved too.
That's great, especially since I'm concerned about pipeline projects like Line 3. How can I help MN350?
Just find them on Facebook or visit mn350.org.
Be a vaccinative. It's time to come together and talk about the urgent need to stay up to date on COVID-19 vaccinations to protect our heritage, our loved ones, and our future. Throughout history, we have always faced challenges, and today we must protect our culture and loved ones. This is our opportunity to ensure that our tribal gatherings once again resound with joy and celebration, where the echoes of our ancestors guide our steps. It's a chance to care for our elders, cherishing their wisdom and stories for generations to come. COVID-19 vaccines are safe and effective. Let us unite, resilient as ever, and show the world the strength of the Native American community. Together, we shape a future where our traditions thrive, our children learn from our ancestors, and our people flourish once more. So be a vaccinative and learn more about staying up to date with your COVID vaccinations at health.state.mn.us. That's health.state.mn.us. This message is brought to you in partnership with the Minnesota Department of Health.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Minnesota 350, a grassroots organization fighting for climate justice.
Hey, there was a little delay there. Good to see you. Wow, what an exciting interview. We're here. This is Native Roots Radio, and we're at Target Field, and we have our own press box up here, and we are celebrating Native American Heritage Night. And come on out to Target Field and join us. Right, Haley?
Yes. Sorry, I might switch mics here, but yes, it's a great day to be out here.
Slide over and take that one. That's a good idea.
Yeah, it's a great time to be out here, and it's hot.
Yeah. And well, it's great to have Dan Gladden on and talking about all those things. And please, everybody, it's exciting. I just want to remind everyone, too, that Native Roots Trading Post is out here on Target Field on right center on Gate 34. And we have things that we're selling out there. And I just want to say that, I haven't beat it or made anything, Haley, but I definitely, we have a lot of artists, and I can name every one of them that's done something. And so I'm really excited. Come out and check out the store, check out the game, come and say hi to us. I know one of my daughters and her husband's going to be out here tonight. And there's a lot of Native Americans out here. So really, really excited.
Yeah, and we saw you said you saw some women in regalia looking like we're going to have some dancers on the field. Yeah,
they're going to be dancing beforehand. There's a celebration, and I'm sure somebody from Prairie Island will be throwing out the first pitch. The Twins are doing really good. I guess we could talk a little baseball here, and one of the things that Dan was talking about was how well balanced the team is. And I've been out here the last few days. I didn't come out last night, but what a great win last night. And I have the fever. I think baseball has changed a little bit this year. I know a lot of people don't like that. I don't like the thing that they put person on second base, in the extra innings, but I like the fact that they've sped up the game again. The average time of the game is now 2 hours and 39 minutes, which to me, Haley, is really reasonable. And, they were touching 4 hours prior to that.
Right. And 4 hours, that's such a long time to be sitting. I mean, if you're in the stands, hopefully you're getting up and walking around and checking out what the vendors got for food out here. I know we were smelling hot dogs and popcorn earlier, making us hungry while we're setting up.
We know what we're going to do right after this game, too. Or right after the show, I mean, not after the game. But, we're going to clean up. But we're really blessed to be out here. And this is kind of if you know me, this is kind of a dream come true. I've always been a big baseball fan all my life, a big Twins nerd, and just have a lot of trivia. We're watching some batting practice here with the Twins, and I don't know who's up to bat there. I can't see right off the top. Well, they don't have their numbers on.
Yeah, they're all in their practice stuff.
Right. So that was a right-handed batter. Oh, and this looks like Kepler is batting, and left-hander, and he's hitting it to right field. That's good. So it's good to have kind of, with all the things that are going on in the world, it's kind of good to have a little chill out and enjoyment, kind of guilty pleasure watching some baseball, Major League Baseball, or even us Native Americans, we're big in softball. I know that. I have a lot of relatives that are over the years and still now that are hugely involved with softball tournaments, and they keep going. We have he's my cousin, and he's 10 years younger than us, and I won't say his name, but he was drafted. He was a ball player, and he was a left-handed pitcher, and he was drafted by the majors. And he played for Harding High School, and he's 10 years younger than me. He's still playing softball in softball tournaments. And it's Jason. I don't want to say his last name because I didn't want to, but
Yeah.
You can figure out if you look on my Facebook who it is.
Well, that's probably I'll say I grew up watching baseball. I grew up watching the Twins, and really, I think I knew the names of almost every player back probably when I was in elementary school. And just a reminder, I'm Gen Z, so a lot younger than you, Daga.
Yeah.
But yeah, Justin Morneau, Joe Mauer were playing back in the day, and I looked up to Joe Mauer so much as a catcher.
Yeah.
And that's when I started playing softball, and the position I chose to play was catcher, and the only number I would wear was number 7. So, and that was funny. Just Dan, I got my Joe Mauer T-shirt on right now, and Dan wanted to know who I was wearing.
Right. Well, I don't know if I have any Gladden jerseys, but yeah, I go back from the Twins. My favorite ball player was Harmon Killebrew, and he when he retired, he had the 5th most home runs of anyone in Major League history in 1975.
Wow.
I think he's 10th or 12th now. He's down there because people have passed him. Got to see Rod Carew in his prime. 1969, when the Twins had Billy Martin as a manager, and Rod Carew, in the one and only year that Billy Martin was manager, Rod Carew stole home 7 times and tied the major league record. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Yeah, that's how they hustled. Then they won the division again under Bill Rigney in 1970. Tony Oliva, he was the first player ever to win 2 batting titles. The first 2 years, he won Rookie of the Year, and then the next year he won a batting title, and then he won another one, 71. And I am so happy that he's in the Hall of Fame. Wendy and I went down for his induction into the Hall of Fame, along with Jim Cott, who was probably one of the, if not the, one of the best fielding pitchers of all time, with 13 Gold Gloves. I think what's his name from Atlanta has 16 now. I can't think of his name, but he's a Hall of Famer too, the old Atlanta pitcher. But hey, we're here at Target Field enjoying life. We're looking at batting practice, or taking down the background there. And if you go on to Native Roots Radio, why don't you put the big picture up of the field? We got our view right up there. That's pretty much our view of the skyline in the city. If you're looking at
our Facebook
and YouTube, yeah.
Live. But Shantina, who always comments on our Facebook live, is asking how hot it is right now in Minneapolis. And I'm just taking a look. It is 91. And I feel like earlier when we got here, probably around 2, it was reading 93.
Yeah.
So it seems like we've got a little bit more overcast, which I'm sure a lot of the fans here appreciate.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's volatile weather too, with this humidity, heat. I want to call it a drought because we had all the flooding in the beginning of spring, and then we haven't had any rain since. So it's crazy. It's totally crazy. It's global warming here. One of the things too, I was listening to somebody giving a pitch about Target Field, and did you know? He had a little tour going on, and I was running around. I don't know what I was doing beforehand, but I was running around and I was like, I wanted to take a tour, I guess. But that they recycle their own water out here. So they're underneath the field, the grass field here at Target Field recycles the water. So when you're over-watering grass, for example, the water will drip in and they'll recycle that water.
Oh, that's amazing.
It is amazing. That's one of the things. And I can't believe, and I've told you this too, I can't believe that they put this beautiful ballpark in such a small footprint. I don't know, Haley, you're probably not young enough to remember this, but this was a little parking lot. And this is just an amazing field right now.
Yeah. I mean, look around us. We've got skyscrapers to the left, skyscrapers to the right.
That reminds me of a song.
Right in the middle, right in the heart of downtown Minneapolis.
So you said that I mentioned my favorite Twins, and Puckett's up there too. Herbeck, Gaetti, those 87 Twins, and Dan Gladden. What a class act for stopping in and kibitzing with us.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was my first time meeting him. I know you have showed me a picture. You met him at the airport, which is also very cool and very nice of him that he would stop and take a picture with you.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And then he told us the story, and I don't want to get into it, but I did read, if you Google Scott Leas and Dan Gladden, you'll see that Scott Leas, he was telling us, Wendy and me, the story about Scott Leas coming over to his house during his daughter's his daughter's birthday party, but it didn't end up good for Scott Leas. And Gladden has always been pretty intense dude and pretty right on with his feelings. So hey, we're at Target Field. This is Native Roots Radio, and this is part of Land Back too. We are here up in the up in the press box here for Native Roots Radio. We'll be right back after this short break.
Stay with us.
Oh.
J&S Bean Factory is a native-owned, community-supported, cozy, artsy coffee shop which offers roasted on-site beans, live music, and baked goods. Relax in the beautiful outside patio. City Pages writes, voted top 10 coffee shops. Tucked into a quiet corner of St. Paul's Highland Park neighborhood, this coffee shop roasts beans on-site from the best coffee-growing countries in the world. Located at 1518 Randolph Avenue, St. Paul. The good stuff.
Hey, this is Robert Pilot. I taught in St. Paul Public Schools for over 25 years, and I want you to join the team and make a difference in our children's future. Right now, St. Paul Public Schools is offering hiring and retention bonuses up to $10,000 for a variety of teaching and classroom support positions for the next school year. Grow in a supportive and fulfilling public school setting. Limited bonuses are available, so don't delay. Apply at spps.org/careers.
Minnesotans age 65 plus might qualify for Health Partners Minnesota Senior Health Options. The plan includes personal support, coverage for medical, prescription drugs, and dental, plus over 30 extra benefits. Eligibility information is available at healthpartners.com/oneplan. Health Partners is a health plan that contracts with both Medicare and the Minnesota Medical Assistance Medicaid program to provide benefits of both programs to enrollees. Enrollment in Health Partners depends on contract renewal.
Attention, Native American community. We've come a long way in our fight against COVID-19. The emergency declaration may be over, but our responsibility to stay vigilant remains. It is crucial to remember that the virus is still among us, and we must continue to prioritize our health and the well-being of our loved ones and elders. Besides getting vaccinated, let's not forget the basics when we're around people who are still vulnerable to COVID-19. Wear your mask, wash your hands regularly, and take an at-home COVID-19 test if you have any symptoms. We've shown incredible strength and resilience throughout history, and we will triumph over this challenge as well. Let's honor our ancestors by taking care of one another and keeping our communities safe. Together, let's navigate uncertain times with courage and unity. Stay informed, stay safe, and remember that our actions today will shape a brighter future for our Native community. Find more tips on continuing to be safe at health.state.mn.us. Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States.
And 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected.
Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf.
Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy.
As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired.
Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl.
If you've made the decision to level your home and build new or to renovate, hire Better Futures Minnesota to take it apart by hand. Think before you scrap. Think of the energy and greenhouse gases saved by diverting what can be reused and recycled from the landfill. Better Futures Minnesota can do it for you. Hennepin County residents and public entities, there are funds available to make the environmentally right thing to do comparable to demolition. Check out betterfuturesminnesota.com. That's betterfuturesminnesota.com.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Showers and thunderstorms possible very late tonight with a low of 71. Clearing skies on Wednesday, very hot sunshine with a high of 95. Grab a tray at Cafe Latte and pick from their award-winning selections of soups, salads, sandwiches, and desserts. Cafe Latte is at Victoria Street and Grand Avenue in St. Paul or at cafelatte.com.
This is Leonard Belt here. I am in Coleman 1 U.S. Penitentiary, and I'm listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by the Minnesota Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Hey, we got our little camera there. It looks, I don't know what happened. Something happened here. But hey, we're here at Target Field. It's Native American Heritage Night here, and we are looking at right field here, gate 35, right by the Creative Corner, and we have natives dancing traditional, and we have the drum over there. People from Prairie Island are here dancing, and it's a beautiful thing to be happening here while people are coming into the stadium, Haley.
Yep. The gates are open now, and we've got crowds coming in. There's a bunch of Native Americans. We got dancers that, are they performing now, or do you think they're practicing?
I can see they're performing.
Yeah. I'm hoping they come on the field and perform for everyone once before the first pitch.
I think it'll probably be a little before the game. We're here really early, and we're just excited to be here to talk about the Twins, to talk about Creative Corner, that Native Roots Trading Post is out here. It's just a win-win situation, and it's so funny. We had a great interview with Dan Gladden earlier, and I was talking to Haley during break, and I was saying, wow, that was really, we did like a 20-minute interview, and she said, no, you just did like a minute longer than we usually do. And I was like, wow, I don't know. I thought it was longer, and I thought we were holding him here longer. And he had just a lot of great insight, great information. What a class act to stop in and just say, hey.
Absolutely. Yeah, it could be the different environment too, making time feel a little distorted, but there's a lot going on.
Yeah. Well, and then, I'm looking at right now, they get this handed out about the Minnesota Twins. They're 54-48, and it talks about the Twins have gone 4-0. It's game notes, and in order to talk coherently like they do. And I wanted to tell him this too, and that I think the Twins broadcasting is one of the best in the country. And
right.
I've listened to other ones, and the radio side is amazing. I see tonight on the TV side, they have Roy Smalley, who's a former Twin, World Series winner. Amazing statistic on him. He was traded for Bert Blyleven and Danny Thompson, and I think Mike Cubbage and Bill Singer were also in that trade. Roy Smalley has twin daughters, and that was way before intervene or getting twins. It was pretty rough. And then he also was, I do believe he's one of the best Twins TV broadcasters. The insight that he has that I don't hear by any, and I think Morneau, who's going to be broadcasting for the Twins too, has gotten better. But I just Roy Smalley the third has been doing this for a long time, and I really enjoy listening to him. But I also really like listening to Gladden. Gladden's probably the fourth longest now radio personality. I was looking at that board that's in the press box that you see all the former announcers, and of course Herb Carneal, who started in '62, the year after the Twins were here, and he did it over 40 years. He's a Hall of Famer. And I remember growing up and listening to him on the car radio with my dad. And it's just baseball, it crosses generations, and I think that's one of the cool things. And I just want to give a quick shout out to my son-in-law too. His brother played. Josh Johnson played Major League Baseball, and he was just honored in the Florida Marlins. He was All-Star for 2 years in a row, and the first time any Florida Marlin was ever an All-Star. And we're going to get him on when it's appropriate, but he's an enrolled member up at Leech Lake, and he's another native. And so,
He'd be great to have on the show.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we got, when he's in Minnesota or something, we can get him to come out here and get the press box again. So how much time do we have left?
You know, right now we're at 7 minutes.
Oh, yeah. It sounds like, hey, I can't wait until the bumper music because I've been just blabbing, and I normally don't blab. We usually have awesome guests talking about everything from, pipelines, going over sacred land, to actors, to singers, to guitar people, things like that. So it's just been a real thrill to be here at Target Field, and what a class act the Twins have been to let us do this.
Absolutely. And just kind of going back, about your rainwater fact about how they water the field and how that gets reused.
Yeah.
When I went to the bathroom, TMI, but they had compost bins for the hand tissues, like paper towels, and the parks, like, not to call out Washington County Park, but they don't even have compost bins.
Right.
When
they're trying to do it right, and we appreciate that. It's still the cheapest ticket in town. If you want to bring your family to see a major sport, if you don't mind sitting way up, which we are way up, and this is where the press sits and can see the whole field.
Exactly.
Yeah, see the whole field and what's going on. And so come on out tonight. It's Native American Heritage Night.
Yeah.
And we see Prairie Island, who, Treasure Island is been a big sponsor of the Minnesota Twins. And they are just awesome people down there, down by Red Wing. And what a great tribe they are.
Is that technically Welch, Minnesota?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Where their casino is, yeah.
Right. That was my first time going there, was for a concert, actually, about a month ago. And yeah, great venue for a concert. Outdoor amphitheater. It was really nice.
Well, they do a lot for the community, and they do a lot for their people, and that's really what matters, because sometimes casinos get a bad name, but you dig deep in what they're doing and what people are doing with their casinos. They are helping their people. And I'm like catching a little ADHD here, Haley. I'm looking in right field, and those dancers are still dancing, and it's an amazing thing. We can't hear because there's like batting practice music going on. I don't know. I'm sure everyone can hear that, but yeah, it's amazing.
So do you think there's going to be, do you want to do any score
Prediction?
guesses? Yeah. Give us a prediction of what you think the score is going to be.
Well, it's not like football, Haley, and I know you love football.
I am
it's
a big
like
football
I can't
person.
say the Vikings by 3, 17-10. And that's really 7 points, just seeing if you're paying attention. But I don't know. There's similar teams, and the Twins have a good chance of winning, because I'm telling you, since the All-Star game, like Dan Gladden said, it's just amazing how well they're playing. Different people are stepping up. So, and the game's never over, because the last 4 victories, or at least 3 of them that I can remember, were really like in the last few innings. They looked like they were going to lose it, and then all of a sudden, they came back, they tied it, and they won it. So I'm thinking the Twins in 10 innings.
Well, I hope as long as they win it, I'll be good with that.
Yeah.
How about that?
Definitely. And then we got to just say, too, that they're giving out T-shirts to the first 5,000 people here, and 5,000 fans. And they're really nice T-shirts. They say Minnesota on it, and they have like Dreamcatcher colors, Native American design, and it looks really cool. And it has a little logo in the back for Prairie Island.
Oh, does it? I didn't see the back. That's pretty cool.
So I'm curious to ask you, and I don't know if this is a fair or unfair question, Haley, but the Twins have a new hat. They have several new hats, but the one with the M and the star, what do you think of that hat?
You know, it's very different from the other Twins logos. I will
Mhm.
give them that, but I think this different is good.
Okay.
Different. I do like it. I like the North Star. That's what that's representing, right? Above
Yes.
the M.
Yeah.
They've got a star looking logo. I like the North Stars. I do.
Yeah.
I like that name.
I think at first, what I was a little hurt about was the fact that it was like looking too closely like a Marlins old M. But the more I see it, and I see it on a lot of people wearing that hat, it looks pretty sharp. And I'm glad they still have the TC, and I hope they never get rid of that like they did in the 80s, because it reminded me when they brought that logo here, the NY for New York, the TC for Twin Cities,
Yeah.
and the pinstripes that they used to wear.
Yeah. The TC symbol for the Twins, I think, is very iconic. And
Mhm.
that's always what I grew up seeing. But I also do like the Twin Cities jerseys too.
Yeah, and you know what's weird? They kind of look like the Saints jersey. So that's the Saints years ago when they first came back in the 90s. They were very similar fonts and similar colors. And I don't know if that's what they were going for or what.
I dig it. I dig it for sure.
Cool. Well, how are we doing on time? Because we're going to have Wendy up next. And
Yeah, we got about 2 minutes left here.
well, okay, what else can we talk about here?
Well,
I'm gonna just tell you a quick. We talked a little bit. I want to say that. I'm looking at the former ball players, and Jabba Chamberlain is Winnebago, and he played for the Yankees. He played for a lot of teams in the 2000s.
Oh,
And I just
wow.
want to give him a shout out because I'm sure we're related to him somehow, Haley. We're related to everybody.
yeah, if he's Winnebago, we probably are. But that's very cool. I did not know that either.
Cool. Yeah. So I'm just getting a
Yes.
message from Micah, my son-in-law. He said, don't want to be on air. I'm too nervous. Well, join the club, Micah. We're all nervous here on Native Roots Radio. We just don't show it.
Yeah, so if you're going to come out to the Twins game, get out here, Minneapolis Target Field. The Twins are playing the Seattle today. And
Seattle Mariners.
Yeah, the Mariners, right?
Yep, definitely.
Yeah,
Haley likes
640.
that football. So, yeah, Jabba Chamberlain played with the Yankees from 2007 to 2013, and then with the Tigers, and then Royals, and then ended up with the Cleveland team. And at that time, they were called something that we don't like to bring up, but he had a 25 and 21 career record. So we want to give a shout out to him because we know he's listening to Native Roots Radio because we're all over civic media, the Twin Cities, and of course, YouTube and Facebook. So we're really happy to be here. And up next, we're going to have Wendy Pilot with the Sacred Animal portion. You're listening to Native Roots Radio at the Twin Stadium Target Field. We'll be back after this short break. Please stay with us. Oh,
Hey, Olgama, I've been hearing a lot about this term, climate justice. What is that?
Climate justice is recognizing that the negative impacts of climate change don't affect all people equally. It also means transitioning from a fossil fuel-based economy to a more sustainable future. MN350 is one of the groups that's pushing for this transition to protect our futures. You can even get involved too.
That's great, especially since I'm concerned about pipeline projects like Line 3. How can I help MN350?
Just find them on Facebook or visit mn350.org.
Your neighbors are talking about the Blue Line extension, connecting North Minneapolis, Crystal, Robbinsdale, and Brooklyn Park to the light rail transit system.
I feel like a lot of times people, when they think about transit, it's like, well, it's a bus, it's a train, it's whatever. But it really isn't. It's a lifeline for many communities, and it feels like something that we really need here.
Hear more of this story and others at yourblueline.org.
Life is a journey, and the Doherty Family College at the University of St. Thomas will help you get where you want to go. Located in downtown Minneapolis, this affordable 2-year college provides free textbooks, a laptop, meals, career coaches, and a Metro Transit pass, making DFC the perfect pathway to a bachelor's degree. Turn your dreams into reality at Doherty Family College at the University of St. Thomas. Apply today at dfc.stthomas.edu.
You hear a lot about Rudy Luther Toyota's hybrid cars, but maybe you're asking yourself, are they worth it? Let me say from experience, absolutely. I have a Toyota Sienna hybrid, and the proof is in the gas tank. Before my hybrid, I was filling up my tank once a week. Now it's consistently every 2 weeks. I did the math, and my hybrid is saving me over $1,000 every year. And the Toyota hybrids are some of the most stylish and comfortable vehicles you'll ever drive. Now's the time to get a Toyota hybrid. Set up a time to test drive one today at Rudy Luther Toyota, the southeast corner of 394 and 169 in Golden Valley.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Howling for Wolves, protecting wolves for future generations.
Hey, we're here at Target Field. Still plenty of time, and people are rolling in here. It's Native American Heritage Night here at Target Field in Minneapolis, and everyone come on down. Hey, I kept on saying to Haley, how much time do we have left? Because I'm normally not talking this much. We usually have a guest talk this much, and so time's dragging. I guess I must be boring to myself, huh, Haley?
No, you're not that bad.
Oh, okay. You get a raise. All right.
All
Hey,
right, thank you.
Hey, so without any further ado, we're going to have Wendy with her sacred portion of the show and give us a break. So, Wendy, take it away.
Thank you, Robert. Hey, everybody. My name is Hana Jihihani. That means cares for them. I was given that name by my Dago Curtis. Curtis goes by Mashke Hanajinga, which means walks on white clouds. I'm a humane policy volunteer leader for the Humane Society of the United States, and I work on animal issues at the local and state level. And as always, it is my pleasure to do those type of things. And I often talk about, especially during the summer, how we could help our wildlife by leaving water out in our backyards and around and filling up the bird baths and making sure that the water is clean and changing the hummingbird nectar at least every couple of days, especially in the hot weather. That nectar needs to be changed. If not, the sugar in the nectar will ferment. And when the little hummingbird takes a drink of that nectar, it ferments on their tongue, and then their tongue gets, they can't use their tongue anymore, and then they die. So it's really important if you're going to have nectar out for the hummingbirds. It is a commitment, and I make my own. It's 1 cup sugar and 4 cups of water. Just boil it up on the stove. Just remember to just use plain old granulated sugar. Please do not use raw sugar or anything else, just regular plain granulated sugar. 1 cup of sugar, 4 cups of water, and then just fill the container up just enough so it comes through those little flower petals on your dispenser. And then just wash it out with nice hot water, and that's it. Fill it up every couple of days, and then you could keep the leftover nectar in the refrigerator in a pitcher. I'm not sure how long it stays. I think I keep mine for about 2 weeks, and that usually does it. But Robert, you texted me a picture the other night. It was really hot out, of a possum drinking from the water dish that we keep outside. So while I'm away, Robert, I appreciate you watering and filling up those containers for the animals and watering all our plants and keeping everything hydrated. So thank you. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the possum And I really love these little animals, and they are really good to have in your backyard because they eat a ton of ticks. So I always welcome the possums. I know some people think that they're ugly, but I don't. I think they're very, very cute. And this is a little bit of information, and this is from the North Texas Wildlife Center. And I'm just going to read this. The possum is one of the world's oldest mammals, dating back to 65 million years ago. They're often referred to as living fossils and have remained mostly unchanged over time. A female possum can have 13 to 20 babies, but she only has 13 nipples. Mama is pregnant for only 12 days and gives birth to fetal-like joeys that are the size of your pinky fingernail. That's pretty small. At this stage, they have no back legs, but they have crawl claws that allow them to climb into the pouch and latch onto a nipple for nutrition, warmth, and security. Nature is cruel, though, immediately culling the weak. So too slow to make it to the pouch. Sorry, you lost your spot. Too weak. Oh well, it's over before it even begins. 2 to 4 months later, the babies begin to leave the pouch and ride on the mama's back. But nature strikes again. Too weak to hold on? Bye. Too soon to catch up? Sorry, you're gone. You're a goner. So nature is pretty cruel to these cute little animals. But as they grow, they begin to fall off in a revolutionary, advantageous dispersal pattern. Instead of concentrating the population into one area, they're known to spread out. Nature and man make problems, challenges for their survival. Cars, cats, dogs, poison, predation, litter habitat loss, and abuse. If you see a possum in your yard, he fought to make it so far. So don't let your mild inconvenience take away his life. Do not trap, do not relocate, do not poison. Be kind, coexist. After all, they were here first. Yes, 65 million years ago. That's amazing. It really is. But I love those little critters, and I'm happy because they do eat ticks. So if they're in my yard eating all the ticks, I'm just happy because then the ticks don't get on my dog. We do let our kitty cat, Lucy, outside, but only when we're outside, and she just stays in the backyard just for a little while. She does like to sit in the sun and hang out. So hopefully the possums ate all the ticks and they're not going to land on any of our dogs or cats. So happy about that. I have an update from the National Eagle Center, and this is something that I didn't know. They say that bald eagles swim. So our post earlier referenced the backstroke, showing a bald eagle flying inverted during a mid-air tussle. Of course, they would use completely different stroke when they swim, and they do swim. I didn't know that. People are often quite surprised to learn that eagles can swim. It's a fairly regular occurrence that members of the public or a follower here on Facebook share a video, and they're complete shock with us at the sight of a bald eagle swimming on a river or a lake. Of course, the natural reaction when seeing this for the first time is that the eagle needs assistance, but they are very capable and often use this technique to bring larger fish to shore for a very filling meal. It isn't the most graceful or even planned activity for an eagle, but sometimes the pursuit of food, fish, results in an unexpected dip in the drink. This also ties into the misconception concerning how much weight an eagle can carry. Catching a fish too large to fly back to shore, often only 3 to 4 pounds, is common, and a hungry bald eagle is not eager to simply let that fish go. So they drag it through the water to shore using what is best described as a butterfly-style stroke. One final note has to do with another misconception, being that eagles often drown because they cannot release their talons at will and are pulled under by a too large fish. This is false. Bald eagles can often open and close their talons at will, and drowning due to a fish is either the result of exhaustion if they were too far from shore, or their own stubbornness for refusal to let the big one get away. So that is our update on eagles, and I was not sure that they could swim, so I'm glad that they can. And if I do see an eagle in a lake or a river, I won't be as concerned. And with that, Robert, back to you.
Hey, thank you. Thank you, Wendy. Come on out to Target Field. This has been Native Roots Radio Presents I'm Awake, and we'll see you tomorrow. There's my my emu there. Whoa, we'll be back tomorrow. See you.
Nightingale is your cozy, comfortable neighborhood restaurant in the Whittier neighborhood at 26th and Lindale. Nightingale has patio, dining room, and bar seating available. Plus, they still have takeout and delivery. Their menu has lots of delicious options like the famous Nightingale burger and fries, ginger tamari chicken wings, smoked chicken